Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and thank you for watching this video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about our budget, the planning, the big expenses, the small expenses, the unexpected expenses, because those come along with planning a wedding as well. The reason why we chose to have a backyard wedding is because I just like the whole idea and the intimacy behind having a backyard wedding. We got married in my mother-in-law's backyard. So this is the house that my husband grew up in. He has childhood memories here. So it was just a very special place to have our wedding. So a little bit of background on our wedding. My husband and I got married October 19th in Fresno, California. The weather is usually pretty mild year-round, but especially mild in October, so I felt like this was the perfect time of the year to have a backyard wedding. We split our wedding up into two. We had our ceremony and we had our reception. Both took place in the backyard, but the ceremony only had about 30 people in attendance. We wanted it to be something really intimate and something really personal, so we only had our family and really close friends attend the ceremony. The guest attendance for the reception was about 80 people, so that is a fairly large amount of guests for a backyard wedding, but we made it work. I think a lot of people go into the planning process thinking that if I have my wedding in a backyard, it's gonna cut the price of my wedding in half, which is not true. There's a lot of unexpected expenses that go into planning weddings that are in your backyard that people just don't account for. So when it comes to planning a backyard wedding, I would say the number one tip is to have a workable backyard. I know that may sound a little bit redundant. I'll go ahead and post a picture of what the backyard looked like prior to the wedding. But what I mean by workable backyard is you want to have a lot of space. So depending on what your guest count is, you want to have enough space for everybody to move comfortably, to be able to walk from point A to point B without having to shake and shuffle to get around others. So I kind of went back and forth with myself on whether or not I wanted to talk about the wedding attire, specifically my wedding dress, just because I've seen so many brides that have been able to score wedding dresses for extremely low and reasonable prices. So my dress is the Bruna dress by Thea Couture. I had the most amazing service and the most amazing experience in picking out my wedding dress. The store that I went to is called The Wedding Party, and it's located in Berkeley, California. So if you're a Bay Area bride, if you're a California bride, I 1000% recommend this bridal shop. My wedding specialist was Clara. She was so patient with me. I didn't decide on the dress that I wanted that day. I had to go home and think about it. At the beginning of the wedding planning process, I told myself, I'm a super simple bride. I'm not going to go crazy with the dress. I could wear anything and I would be happy. All I care about is getting married. But that wasn't the case. I probably tried on about 40 dresses before I decided on the one. And even when I decided on the one, it wasn't like an immediate rush of like euphoria, and I wasn't 100% decided on the dress. I tried it on, I said, okay, put it on the list, I'm gonna go home and think about it. The next day was actually when I called back to finalize my order and order my dress. So don't feel pressured to pick a dress. Not everyone has the say yes to the dress moment when picking out their dress. Just be patient with yourself, find something that's comfortable, find something that's within your budget. For me, it was important to find something that was going to be classic. So I wanted to pick a dress that I could look back on pictures with my grandchildren 50 years from now and not be like, oh my gosh, I just picked that dress because that was what was in style. I wanted something really modern, really simple. So that's what I went with. So luckily for me, they had a trunk show going on for that specific designer, and the sale price of the dress was $1,300. I would consider that a little bit of a splurge. Like I said, I've seen lots of women find dresses on Amazon, David's Bridal. I've seen lots of women find dresses for way cheaper than what I found my dress for. The total cost for alterations was $600. The lady that did my alterations, she put a bustle, she took it in a little bit on the straps, on the waist, on the hips, and then of course she shortened the dress, so she did a hem. I got really lucky with my accessories. So accessories being shoes, veil, earrings. I kept the jewelry really simple. I only had earrings on. I didn't opt for a necklace or bracelet or anything like that. I didn't want any jewelry that was going to clash with the overall look of my wedding dress. So I just went with simple diamond studs. I think they were like 15 bucks on Nordstrom. As far as the shoes and the veil, I got so many compliments on the veil. Veils tend to be a little pricey. I looked at a couple of veils at a couple different bridal shops. They all were priced about $150 to $200. The veil that I got was actually, I think it was $22 to $23 off Amazon. It was a cathedral style veil with a little bit of lace on the trim. The thing that I love about my veil is because the dress was so simple, I wanted a little bit of something just to kind of kick up the notch on the overall bridal look, and I feel like the lace on the veil just totally tied this look together. As far as other expenses that are going to be 100% optional, the cost of me to get my makeup done was $100. I wanted to get my makeup done because the way you look in the mirror is a lot different from how you look in pictures, especially with professional photography. So I wanted something that was going to hold up for the 5 or 6 hours that the wedding went on. So it was important to me to have my makeup done. The hair was free. I did my hair exactly how my hair is now. This is just my go-to hairstyle. Again, wanted something simple. Wanted something that was going to be really classy, something that's not going to be too trendy. So I felt like this is a perfect look. As far as the tuxedo rental, my husband paid $196, which was gifted to him from his aunt and his uncle. They paid for his whole tuxedo rental. My wedding dress was actually gifted to me from my parents. So this price I'm going to work into the cost of the total budget for the wedding because it does technically still count, but this was not an expense paid for by myself or my husband. So when I was deciding on what I wanted to use to design our wedding invitations, I was talking to a coworker of mine and she mentioned the idea of Etsy. So the cool thing about Etsy is they have templates. So you go into the Etsy website, you type in the search bar, wedding invitation, and a lot of different options will come up, and all of these options are 100% customizable. Envelopes, stamps, address labels, all the wedding stationery totaled to $225. Another important wedding expense is the photography. So I was lucky enough to grow up with someone who is a photographer. So she gave us a really good deal on the photography. It was $2,200. This included the day of ceremony photos as well as the engagement photos, which we use for our invitations. Again, this is something that was gifted to us from my mother-in-law. She paid for the whole price of the photography. So again, not something that is an expense by myself or my husband, but something that I'm going to work into the total cost of the wedding budget. So the total cost for the flowers that we used at our wedding was $203. For the centerpieces and other various decor, we didn't go through a florist for the flowers. We actually purchased them ourselves, and I decided to take on the challenge of creating our own centerpieces. So I was lucky enough to have my husband's cousin, who was actually married in the backyard, to help us put together the flower arrangements. This included 1 case of white roses, 1 case of baby's breath, 1 case of mixed greens, which is eucalyptus and other pot fillers, and then we got 6 bunches of chrysanthemums. So all this together came out to look like this. I'm very happy with the way the centerpieces came out. Again, was going for a really simple, modern look to our wedding. Other wedding flowers that I wasn't going to risk DIYing was my bouquet, the corsages for my mom, my mother-in-law, and my best friend, and we got 5 boutonnieres. The total cost of that was $200. My bouquet was a bundle of white roses and peonies. I actually got lucky, and I knew the person that worked at the flower shop. It was actually the parent of one of my little brother's best friends growing up. So she gave me such a good deal on the bouquet. So as far as the rentals, we rented 110 chairs, napkins, plates, silverware sets, cups, and linens for the tables. In addition to 14 tables. This included the guest tables, the food serving tables, and the gift tables. So the upside to renting all your dinnerware is not only is it easy to return, but you can also save on space in your trash cans. So having a party, anyone that's had a party knows it's so easy to accumulate trash, whether it be plates, cups, napkins, food scraps, things like that. It's so easy to accumulate trash when you're having lots of people over. Wedding is going to be no different. We also rented a 9x10 dance floor just because people dancing and a lot of traffic can be a little harsh on grass. So we opted to rent a dance floor. That all totaled out to $1,296. Another rental that I am just so over the moon about is the portable bathrooms. So we decided to rent a luxury mobile bathroom. This is something that I've never heard of. This is something that I think is fairly new on the scene. I actually found out about these luxury porta potties after going to a bridal show. Our bathroom specifically that we rented, it had Wi-Fi connection, it was heated and it was air conditioned, so all the bells and whistles was included. This was probably one of my favorite rentals and the favorite parts of my wedding. Still to this day I rave about it. So that's something to consider when you're having a backyard wedding, is where everyone's going to go to the bathroom. As far as the appetizers, we didn't want to get too crazy with those because we knew we had such a good dinner that was going to be served. So for the appetizers, we literally just went to Costco. We purchased 2 big things of hummus. We purchased 2 bags of pita chips, and then I had members of our family chop up fruits and vegetables, and then we also had a ranch dip for the vegetables in addition to the hummus. So that in total cost about $75. So we decided to hire a DJ because I wanted someone that can kind of help navigate the night. I wanted someone that could announce the wedding party, someone that could dismiss tables to get food. I wanted to take the pressure and the stress off of my family of having to delegate a bunch of tasks and kind of put that on the DJ. As far as the lighting is right up there with one of my favorite parts of the wedding, next to the porta potties. So like I mentioned before, my husband's cousin got married in the backyard, so there was a lot of things that we were able to reuse from her wedding and incorporate into our wedding. Just for the sake of being complete, I went and I did my own research and I searched the exact string lights that she bought, and I incorporated that into how many lights we used. So for these specific string lights, they're about $10 to $12. So in total, we used 8 rows of 2 strands, so 16 string lights. That's going to cost about $160 to $200. If you're planning on having a backyard wedding, lighting is very important. Most people I know, they don't have much lighting in their backyard besides a porch light, so you don't want your guests to be sitting in the dark and to miss an important moment because they couldn't see it. So I would definitely look into either renting lights or maybe purchasing lights just to kind of add to the overall ambiance of the backyard wedding. As far as the cake, we purchased a 10-inch round. The reason why we got such a small cake is because we just wanted a couple's cake to cut. As far as the dessert for the guests, we purchased 100 cupcakes totaling at $350. The favors were right up there with the porta potty and the lights as part of my favorite parts of the wedding. So what we did was we purchased a big box of Kirkland brand dog treats. We purchased small brown paper bags and stickers off of Amazon with a little dog paw that say thank you. And what we did was we basically just packed a couple treats into those paper bags, set them up in a box, and let people take them home to their dogs. We love our dogs. I don't know anyone that doesn't love their dog, so I felt like this was the perfect favor for us to give out. For the food, we spent about $1,000. For about 80 to 90 guests, I think that's about the average cost. We had 35 pounds of grilled chicken, 40 pounds of tri-tip. We had green beans and mashed potatoes as the side, and my mother-in-law made the salad. This was way more than enough food for everyone that was there. There was enough food for people to get second and third servings. The food is probably the #1 way that I gauge my experience at a wedding. So of course for me it was important that I served food that I liked. As far as the drinks, for the drinks we had peach Bellini tea from Olive Garden, which you can purchase just as a syrup and mix with any black tea or iced tea. My husband's aunt made the most amazing strawberry lemonade from scratch, and we also had water. As far as the alcohol, we purchased 5 cases of beer and 35 bottles of wine. Trader Joe's really came in clutch for a lot of the items that we purchased for our wedding. We paid about $240 for the 5 cases of beer and 35 bottles of wine. Again, we had so much left over after the wedding, we just gifted them to our neighbors and to friends and family. I also accounted for about $500 for miscellaneous decor that we purchased for the wedding. This included the seating chart, mason jars for the centerpieces, the cake table backdrop, serving platters, drink dispensers. This accounted for all our DIY projects, lanterns, candles, the posts to hang the lights, wooden crates, the cake stands, the signs, All that kind of tied together totaled out to about $500. The total amount that we spent on our wedding is approximately $9,200. This accounts for food, catering, drinks, alcohol, flowers, attire, all those expenses. I felt like everything about the wedding just came out perfect. It was everything my husband and I wanted. Looking back, I don't think there's anything that I would change. I truly feel like everything came out perfect. Even the things that I was stressed about, everything came out perfect. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. To all my brides and grooms that are looking to planning a backyard wedding, I wish you guys the best of luck and happy wedding planning.